My name's Amy Lauder, and I had the pleasure of producing this event today, so I'm happy to see everybody that's turned out today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Join me in welcoming Seth Rudetsky.
Thanks for coming. You guys hear me if I just talk normally? Anybody? I can hear Alright, yes. It's too weird. Alright, so I'm going to spend like 10 minutes just giving some kind of overview to what happens is like the first person always gets up and I have like 20 things that I always say to that person, so I'd rather just say it all now and then the first person can actually does these things before they go. So, alright, so this is, basically, these are kind of like 60-bar, 32-bar audition, which is what they do kind of everywhere in New York and whatever, because it's not like a cabaret act where people come in and like sing like 3 verses. It's like they want to sort of get a taste of who you are. So you cut it down to 16 or 32 bars, and some horrible auditions are like 8 bars. The main thing you need to know is that like, you really want to try to have a complete song within those amounts of bars, like something with a beginning, a middle, and an ending. Anything that doesn't feel like an ending is psychically unsatisfying to people behind the table. So you may have a legitimate reason. Like, I mean, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I'm staying home every night, wait around for Mr. Right, take showers every day." That's 16 bars. It's like, well, you may have it may be 16 bars, but it's like a horrible audition. So it's like, I guess you're right, but you're the one that looks like an idiot. So it's like, you want to have like, I mean, you're not spiting anyone for yourself. It's like, you want to have your song end and not be like a crazy like robot fade out. So if you can't get a good 16 bars out of your regular audition song, or 32 bars, you can't do that song. You have to have maybe one regular audition song and then another one that's 16. So within that, your cut also has to make sense. It can't be like, and that's why I say, wait, what? Like, what are you adding to it? I don't know what the first part is using the and to. So it's got to be like, I understand behind the table, like everything that you're saying to me, I understand your story. And you want to actually end your song, and you want to also end it excitingly or interestingly. Like for instance, like take the second ending. Like I'll know people that will be like, defying gravity, and you can't hold me down. There, like why can't you actually? I mean, people, I think people understand. Like the people behind the desk are an audience. If you want to like satisfy your audience, and just in terms of the ending, also you have to you don't want to sing shorter than the pianist. Like so many times, like a person will stop and I'll like finish playing and say, I'm not the actual person auditioning. Like so that goes into another side, which is you have to understand your music, and it's just distressing to me. Like a lot of people come in and I'll be like, do you go to this ending or that ending? It's like, I don't know. It's like, okay, great. So when I mess up, you actually don't get the job. It's like, I'm a pianist and I have the job already. So understand your music. You have to understand it completely. First of all, you don't read music, you're busted. So why don't you learn? I don't read music. Right, you're actually not dead, so you can still learn how to read music. I don't read, and I guess I never can learn it. No, you can actually learn now. So the point is, learn how to make music. It's just called practicing. It's not like, I'll never learn. Really? It's called, you really look at the sheet, you go, the note is on the first line. What does the first number represent? Every chord is fine, every E. That is an E. You really just keep doing that until you understand how to read music. It's not like this crazy, like, French with a cedilla. It's just like you literally do scientifically, like, it's the second note, that's a G, like, and you just keep doing it until you learn it. But the point is, and I know a lot of people on Broadway, like, do you read music? I know the notes go up and down. Great, you can see. I can also see. It's impressive. Anyway, the point is, when you read some of the music, your music has to be as perfectly perfect as possible. Because if anyone messes up, you're the one that looks bad. So do not get the pianist music where it's like circle, X, arrow. Like, why do I have to do like a full scavenger hunt to pick piano music? I want to just read the music. So you want to have it, usually it's like 2 pages or 3 pages. You want to have it as few page turns as possible. So if you can, just have it all laid out. But I know people put it in plastic because it's like fancy schmancy, but a lot of times the plastic is annoying because like the light hits it and you actually can't see the music underneath it. So I don't love plastic, but I get what people do, but I don't think it's great for the pianist because the light can mess it up. But you don't want to have it where there's like a second ending crossed out. You don't want to have things in the wrong key. That's the other thing too. keep going with tangents, but you know, when you audition for a show, you have to sing in the key of the show, and I know that here, is that my phone? When you audition for a show, you have to sing the key that you're trying out for. You can't like try for a beat and be like, you know, I do it down the octaves. You have to sing in that key, but when you bring your own audition song, you can sing whatever key you want. So a lot of times people bring audition songs and it's out of their range. A lot of times it's too low. A lot of people, I'm like, why are you singing that key? Like, that's the key I got in. I'm like, but it's your audition song. You can have it whatever key you want. Now you can't like have a signature high song. Like, you know, I know someone that sings memory and head voice, and I'm like, you can't do things that are like known for one thing, like it's known as a Belgian song. You can't, like my version isn't head voice. You know, and you can't sing it so obviously transposed that it sounds bad. But you're allowed to like waver like a step, step and a half, 2 steps, 3 steps in order to get into your range. But if you're auditioning for the show, you can't change the key. But if it's your own song, do whatever key you want. And nowadays, it's super easy to do that because everything's online and you can just transpose it. I mean, I was just printing this one with Sheeta, and I was like, I take this key and it just like prints it out. So there's no excuse for you to be like, you know, not having the right key. And that being said, it's really nice if you can to have the chords written on top. Like a lot of music from a score, from an actual music score from a Broadway show, let's say, it doesn't have chords. But it's helpful if you have someone write the chords on top. Because when you're sight reading as a piano player, it's just nice to sort of see what the chords are as I'm playing. It helps me sight read it. So if you have music without chords, give it to your piano player friend and have them write the chords on top. It's really helpful. And that being said about piano player friends, a lot of people are like, I heard, you know, never use song having an audition. It's too hard to play. Like, it's just a stupid statement. It's like, really, Seven of the Clowns is not hard to play. I mean, it's just a dumb statement. What the statement is, never bring a hard song that a piano player can't play. So when you pick your song, show it to your pianist and be like, is this a hard song? Like, there's certain songs that are easy, certain ones are really hard. I mean, I know the sopranos, and I hope no one has like the Piazza. I'm like, right, it goes from like 5/8 to 6/8. Like, why are you making a song that I need like calculus to understand? It's just so stupid. It's like because you're the one that looks bad. Like, I don't look bad if I play badly, you do. So don't bring a song that's hard to play, and that means showing it to a pianist. He's like, this is hard to play. And along those lines, do not look at the piano player. When you're singing something and you feel something's going wrong, I don't know why people suddenly think they have psychic abilities, and they go like this, they'll somehow psychically make the piano player play better. Here's your option. Keep going, because you're like, maybe the piano will catch up to me, or stop. You are allowed to stop. It's your audition. You're allowed to go like, you know what, like we're on, not together, like where are we, or whatever you want. But just like singing and just crazy looking over, like I don't know anything. And that also being said about the whole piano player thing, I keep saying you gotta make it easy for the piano player. A lot of people will bring songs and they'll be like, oh, I sing different lyrics here. And when I'm sight reading, it's like I have to look at the music and I'm like, you're singing something else. It's so confusing. Like, where are you? So just your music has to be exactly what you're doing and completely clear. And when you come over to the pianist, so you give your music to the pianist, you're totally allowed. You know, you can set your own tempo, but you have to understand how to set a tempo. Like a lot of people are like, sun come out tomorrow. Like, I know what you're snapping, what you're singing. Like, you have to understand the music, like where you set the tempo. So you're also, to me, it helps. You can even point, like you have a measure, like the sun will come out tomorrow. So like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how it's beated out. So we can set a tempo with the pianist. It's totally fine. Do not set repetitive tempos. Makes me crazy. You know, I get it. It's out of time. Like I'm gonna follow. And the point is, like, set the tempo that's in the actual tempo, but don't set the part that's at tempo because I'm following you. Sorry, I don't, okay, so you do this with pianists, you're allowed to ask for your first pitch, first chord, whatever you want. That, to me, it's nice to kind of sing the beginning of it over here, so you're like, oh, I just sang 5 seconds ago. Yeah, I know you're allowed to do that. When you come to the center, I don't know, like certain teachers teach this whole weird, like, hi, my name is Seth Rudetsky, and I'll be singing blah, 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 blah. It's like very weird and like pageant. Do it. It's like you're just yourself. You're like a normal person, and like you just be in the moment. And like sometimes they'll be like, are you ready to sing? And like, oh, what are you gonna sing? Or whatever. Just have a conversation, or maybe they just go like, you ready? You're like, yeah, and then that's it. But a weird prepared speech, and like no joke. Like I have a director friend who's talking to this guy auditioning. He's like, Tom, where are you from? Like, Tom, you in school? Like, Tom, you wrote? And the guy's like, hi, my name is Tom. Like, it's so weird. So just be a normal person. You know, once you're there, tell the pianist you're going to nod. Because, you know, a lot of times, especially 16-bar auditions where it goes, you really want people to come in and out as fast as possible. So if no one's really gonna nod, I'll just like sort of like start playing as soon as you get out to the center. But if you say you're gonna nod, then I have to wait for you. So when you get to the center and you're ready to go, you don't need like a 25-minute yoga warm-up. You know, you get to the center, like, you know, whatever you need to do to center yourself for a second. And then we go to the piano, you're allowed to look and nod. Like there's this thing like, you know, like and I don't like bell tones. I don't think we do bell tones for beginnings, but I just find it very untheatrical because I don't know any wildly solid things to the bell tone unless it's sort of like, you know, an idea, you know, and then it goes into the song. Like the song is beginning ding, and I just find it very like factory line, like ding, go. I just feel like trying to get an introduction that's like 4 beats long, try to find it. So you look over the pianist, the introduction plays, and it's not like nod, you're in characters, like you can nod, and what's nice about 4 beats is you have like 2 beats to sort of like, song begins, your 3rd beat, you can sort of put yourself in whatever situation you're in, and then there's something you call an internalized cue line, where you say something to yourself that propels you into singing. So instead of being like standing, you know, the song come out, it's like, you know, 1, 2, situation, listen, the song come out, you just say something to yourself like, all right everyone, or I got news for you, or like, all right, I'm about to admit this. Whatever you do, but you say a line to yourself, and it prompts you into singing, and it also changes your face. So it's nice to be like, you nod, music, situation, cue line, sing. That also brings me to, now this is not a normal situation in New York at auditions. You're never on a stage anymore. In the old days, when I was a kid trying out for Broadway shows, like, you know, we actually go to the theater and like try out on the stage. Nowadays, you're in this little tiny audition room. And the reason I bring that up is, it's very weird. You're auditioning in an audition room for a show, and yet it's nothing like you're going to be in the show. Meaning you're not on the same level as the audience when you're actually doing a show. In an audition room, you are. So when you're in a Broadway show, when you're just doing a musical, you know, you play to the balcony, you play to the box seats, you play out. But in an audition room, you shouldn't do that. Because a lot of people like sing above everybody's head, but what that does is it totally disconnects you from the people behind the desk. So there are always a couple of people that audition, they're like, I'm gonna like, you know, perform right into their eyes and like show that I'm not scared. And like people on the desk are like, I don't want to actually be part of a scene study class. I'm not here. So what you really want to do is you want to look on the eye level of the people you're auditioning for, but not into their actual eyes. So let's say well, let me go back 1 second. There are 2 types of songs. There's an individual song and there's a group song. So there's a song to one person, which is like, you are the promise of the springtime, you're singing to one person. Or there's a group song, which is like, what good is sitting alone in your room? You know, you're trying to get a group, you're singing to a couple people. So for an individual song, you let 5 people audition you right there, you find out who the person you're singing to, you pretend that they're between 2 people's heads, and you're singing the song to them. So that way, instead of being like, you are the promise of springtime, people behind the desk can see what you're feeling, because you're looking at your face, but you're not staring anybody in the eye. And it doesn't mean the whole song you can't break contact, because in real life, you talk to someone, like you think about it, but you have to know where they are, you have to always keep coming back to that person. For a group song, you plant like 3 people between the heads and the people you're auditioning to, and you play to that crowd. So instead of being like, what good is sitting? When everyone's not disconnected from me, you're down here. So just always know, bring it down. For some reason, everyone is like talking like this, and it disconnects the whole audience. So, okay, so you nod, you have a little beginning, focus. Okay, so then I'm just going to get some, like, just a couple specific things. I know there are a lot of kids trying out. When you're a kid, I know you're trying out for, you're 14 and playing like Hans Eller, and like, no man. In the real world, you're playing a 14-year-old. So it's like you want to find songs that are your age. So there are a lot of songs out there. So just, that's another thing. You have to do research. It's very judgmental when kids are like, gimme. I'm like, right, I get it. Like, Sun Foster had a big song, like everyone wants to like have her career, and that's the one song you know because you sit at home and you listen to it. But why is that the best audition song for you? It's not. It's called a song you have to like a lot. You have to find a song that really is great for you, and it means actually doing work. And it's 1,000 times easier to do that work now than it was when I was a kid, because we didn't have the internet. So you can go to YouTube, you can look at, instead of, when I was growing up in the 70s, there was 20 years in musical theater. There's now like 60 years in musical theater. So you've got to do some research and find a song, not a crazy, obscure, wacky, but just something that's more special, that's more you, instead of like the top 3 songs that are listened to on iTunes. It just shows, to me, it's just an immaturity of like, oh my God, I love this song so much. It's like, right, you all love this song. You particularly find a song that's specifically you. And in terms of, age, you can't be singing about like you know, you can sing about heartbreak, but you have to sing about heartbreak, let's say, about like a teenager heartbreak. It can't be like, you know, after 30 years, you know, like, and really, in terms of the heartbreak, really try to find positive songs. Two things. If you're gonna sing a depressing song, first of all, put a positive spin on it in a couple different ways. So I'm gonna give it a positive spin. It's like On My Own. A lot of girls will sing that and they'll be like, on my own, pretending he's beside me. And the point is, no, you're actually singing about this great fantasy life you have. So you're actually happy with it. Let us think, oh, that's depressing. Like she doesn't really have a real relationship. Let us be sad for you, but you can't be like, isn't it sad I don't have a boyfriend? Like then there's no connection with us because we're like you're already feeling sorry for yourself. You have to be like, oh my God, on my own, take the time that I have this amazing life, this amazing fantasy life, and let us go like, that's actually not called a healthy relationship. Try to always make a positive choice within a song. It's much more interesting for an audience if you can find a positive choice and not the negative one. Okay, then I guess more things will come up. But in conclusion, when you're holding, there's no such. It's not in real life. People don't hold a note. People don't hold a word. Actually, two things I want to say. I'm sure the kids in the room that have teachers that are making them over dictionize things. Do not do it. You know, I'm trying to think. You know, like you can't be like, what's good is sitting. Oh look, no one says sitting in America. You don't. It's not. People don't speak that way. We're in America. So as soon as you do that, as soon as you have this fake diction, you are making the audience go, oh, that person's not experiencing anything. They're a singer that practices diction. You want the audience to go like, oh, I'm believing everything that's happening. So as soon as you give me these hard T's, and it completely alienates the audience. So even though your teacher's like, you must sing in proper diction, you actually have to sing like a real person. We have to understand the words, but you have to sing like a real person. So just, I don't want to hear any over-diction because it completely takes an audience out of the reality. And then the whole thing about singing like a real person, in real life, people don't hold a note. Like, let's say, like the Wizard and I, you don't go like, oh my God, it's gonna be, I'm gonna have an amazing time, and it's just the Wizard and like, you know, no one holds a note. So why are people holding notes in songs? People hold notes in songs because it represents, let's say, like, you know, different thoughts and feelings. You're just holding a note, but it's sort of taking the place of saying like 5 sentences. So in conclusion, what I mean by that are 2 things. With, let's say that particular note that I'm talking about, I have a friend in Wicked, and she was always really nervous about singing that last note, the Wizard and I. So she was like, you know, how can I hold that note better? People always ask me for a technique. I really don't understand vocal technique, so I can't help you there. But I can help. There's a lot of psychological things you can do that help your technique. So what I said to her, I said, when you're holding that note, instead of obsessing about like how do I sound, you have to be in the moment, which is, what is alphabet thinking? It's like, the Wizard and I, it's going to be amazing when I meet the wizard because he's going to, like, you know, take away all my green, and, you know, we'll both rule the kingdom, and then, like, I'll get a great boyfriend. So it's like, you think those things, instead of being like, the Wizard and I, oh my God, I'm running out of air, no sound. You're like, the Wizard and I, oh my God, I can't wait to meet the wizard, he's going to take away my green, we're going to have a boyfriend. And you're thinking those thoughts, and it changes, first of all, it changes, it A, gets you out of your head, and you're not obsessed about your note. B, it's changing your face, so even though we don't know literally what you're thinking, we're projecting what you're thinking onto you, and we see that you're going through something. So it's so important to have thoughts when you're singing, and especially when you have a held note. I always just say, give me like 3 thoughts and make them progressively more positive. And that is a great way to end a song. You're holding, you know, 3 thoughts, progressively more positive. And while I'm on that subject, the whole thought thing, make sure you're acting on the air. The air of a song is when you're not singing, and it really will take you out of the ensemble into lead roles. Because that is when you actually will come across as an actor. So instead of being like, you're like, maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time I'll say, it's like, maybe this time, oh my God, can it work out? You know, I'll be lucky. Oh my God, it's so crazy cute. Maybe this time I'll stay. Like, you have those thoughts on the air of the song that prompt the next lyric, and those thoughts, we're seeing the way your face in real life reacts to thoughts, and that's what makes you look like an actor. So instead of like, you know, that's why bad kid actors, bad kid teachers be like, you know, maybe this time I'll be lucky. Gestures, but you don't need a big gesture. You need to just think something, and we'll just see naturally what you look like when you're thinking, and that will make you look like an actual individual. That's the whole point of an audition, is to make you stand out as an individual. And it doesn't mean being crazy and wacky, it means literally having thoughts, and you're individual because the way you think about something is individual specifically to you, and the way your face reacts is individual to you. So the more you can have just real thoughts as you're singing, the more you're going to stand as an actor. And on that note, your audition song is literally your audition song. You are not the character, unless you're actually trying out for that show, you're trying out for that character. But it's your audition song. So I get crazy when people are like, well, in the show, I'm like, cut. I'm like, it's completely irrelevant what happens in the show because you're auditioning as you. And that's where there's like a song, Little Women, let's say, it's like song, Some Things Are Meant to Be. It's this really sweet song about like, things are meant to be, like you and me being together. And in the show, it's like her sister is dying, and it's kind of a really sad song of like, trying to kind of put on a brave face as someone is dying, but the lyrics are really just like, some things are meant to be and we're meant to be together. So you're allowed to sing it as a love song that's positive to you. You don't have to be like, well, in the show she's devastated. It's like, but it's not the show, and we behind the table don't know that. We're just hearing these lyrics. We don't have the whole show leading up to that song. So you need to relate the lyrics to something you can relate to. And that's the thing too, like it's much easier, instead of like, oh, I'm trying to relate to a sister who's dying, it's like, if you don't have an experience, just relate it to like, I'm relating it to anything in my life. And P.S., in terms of love songs, I find it very easy to relate it to animals. Like so many people I know, especially kids, if you have like an animal in your house that you know, usually you really love, you have very unconditional love for it, it's very easy to conjure up those feelings. So if you have to sing a love song, a lot of times it's really good to think about, that's that song by Roberta Flack. The first time ever I saw her face, she was thinking about her cat when she sang that song. It's really easy to conjure up those feelings. So you don't have to be like, well, I'm conjuring up, you know, in the show, you know, Juan Perón, my husband. It's like, you don't have to think Juan Perón, you can think of whoever relates to you. All right, so that's sort of a lot of stuff that I want to talk about a lot, but I want to get that out of the way. So I know this is going to go first, so Amy, come on.
Yeah.